Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call on the Secretary General to stand by for his closing remark. However, I'll just make an overview of what today has been about. And also, before the Secretary General's remark, I'd like the CEO of Avio Plateau to stand by, just to give us an update of what has been happening from the digital aspect and the social media, so that we have an idea of the participation, so you understand that whatever we've done right from Port V yesterday and coming down here to this venue has not just been with the people in the hall, but there's been a whole crowd of people out there. I still have some questions here that because they just came in and the panel was closed, and some of the questions were for past panel, so we just find a way to reply directly to these contributors online. However, we started today with the presence of the...
Maybe just let me stop.
Okay, sir.
Sorry, darling. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move from the traditional way, and as we have reached the closing ceremony, let's do it our way. We have been very professional. We have been very strict according to guidelines that have been provided. I still believe that Tabi has always been on the lookout. If ever he's making any mistakes, no Tabi. Let's do it my way now, if you agree, with your permission.
Definitely.
So what we are going to do for the next 15 minutes, we are going to close in the next 15 minutes. I'm going to ask Tabi to come here. I have the privilege to ask you to come here. You are going to recap in just some minutes. I'm going to ask my friend Samir to be together with us. He is going to make a recap of the social media traffic that we had since yesterday and maybe before yesterday. And we'll go for announcements, way forward. What are we going to do? Please have a seat. What we are going to do after this event. Let's start by giving the floor to Tabi. Less than 5 minutes, Tabi. Is that fine? You just recap what we have been doing during the 2 days. Might be you might not recall all the items of yesterday, but just go on.
Okay, so I'll do summary. 5 minutes, my time starts now. So yesterday we had the Youth Internet Governance Forum, and it was a platform where we really wanted to get the younger generation to talk about issues that concerned them. So most of the topics and the discussions were about the youth. We really wanted to hear from that side of the story. We had representatives come together, and Rishti is one of them that is here today. She was a wonderful speaker yesterday. And we were highlighting the issues as faced by the youth themselves, social media, addiction, and the rest of them. For us to know and ascertain, do we really have a problem in the society today with respect to the influence of the internet and social media being the most popular? And we had back and forth session with our Facebook representative. Anna was one of the moderators yesterday, even though it was impromptu, and she did wonderfully well. We had a lot of questions coming in from our social media handles. And yesterday was not so much of a detached event from what happened here today, because it was meant to be a journey. From what we get from the previous meeting yesterday, we take it down and then discuss more with the key stakeholders that are here present today. So today we've gone practically into those particular sections, those discussions, and I'm just going to do a brief overview of what we had. First of all, we spoke about fake news and exploitation of children. You know, prior to this time, Facebook wasn't so much. Emila was really on the hot seat yesterday when people stopped using the word technology. It was just Facebook. And people log on to Facebook, And today we spoke about fake news and exploitation of children. And we came to an understanding that while technologies are there and these companies will try their best to curb fake news, however, there's a policy to allow for freedom of speech. Then we deduced we learned something from that, which was that you should think before you share. That's the message that we're going to take out from there. Concerning fake news, when you look at something, think before you share. And ask yourself the question, this thing that I'm posting online, will I still want to represent this identity 2 years from now? And when you make that decision, when you think about that and say, if I'm going to post this video, 5 years from now, will I be proud of myself for posting this video? Then you see that you have some restraint with what you do, because now you're having a future thought of your actions exhibited today. And then we went to the second session, which was about Africa and the digital future. There we were trying to talk about Africa as it is, as taken from the context. We know that Africa is a continent, is the youngest continent in the whole world, in the whole universe, I think. It's the youngest continent, and you have that workforce, you have that young population of youth, of children that are so they're born into the technological age. And you see, Africa always makes a giant leap. That's what we were made to understand. So Africa makes a giant leap, and you see someone that doesn't have good roads and very good electricity, but because technology is there, Mr. Kanan said something. He said, a boy in Africa now has access to the same technology and information like I do. So the technophone, he might not be able to afford the iPhone, but he affords the technophone, and so he accesses the internet, and that's a giant leap. And so we are trying to understand what are the problems there. The society is not matured enough, but the child has already gained access to certain facilities. And since Africa being a peculiar society where we can't really generalize, there's certain people that don't have that opportunity. So we also delve towards the technological future. How do we make sure that other secluded kids get included in the campaign when we're talking about these technologies? And we also spoke about how do we make sure that these kids in Africa, that Africa as a continent does not go down, even if we use Mauritius as a reference point, that technology does not become the death of progress. Because sometimes we find out that things are developed in the Western world and they become the end of progress where they are taken to and implemented. So looking for ways forward where technology becomes the beginning of progress and not really the end of progress. Then we went further to talk about network neutrality and cybersecurity. That was it's a broad and very technical topic, and we were trying to draw from different stakeholders how the internet is being governed and controlled, and what are the measures that public and private parastatals could bring in place to make sure that the internet is safe and secure for businesses, for homes, and as well for children. Then we had a bit of lunch. I just want to take your mind back so you remember you had good food. Then we moved to the role of civil society in the protection of children online. We were privileged to have the presence of Dr. Naga with us, and Sadir, and also we had Anna with us. They did justice to that particular session, where we were talking about, we were trying to look at an international context, other continents, and also looking at Africa. So what is happening in China, for instance, and how can those success stories be applied? What are the challenges faced in China, and how can we also tackle those challenges or avoid them in the Mauritian context or other parts of Africa? And also, how can parenting be done in a context of Mauritius, in the digital world that we find ourselves? Parents are not tech savvy. You realize that teachers might be tech savvy, but the policies in government do not really allow them to apply these technologies to learning. And you realize there's a disparity, there's a dichotomy, and we're trying to find the best way. How best could we apply technology in the life of the child to help them grow and not really disrupt their progress? Then from there we moved to the next and final session, which was about sexual exploitation of children in travel and tourism. You know, Mauritius is a beautiful island. I think that's the first thing you hear when you get to Mauritius. It's a beautiful island. Everybody is proud of it, even the people that are not Mauritians. I had a friend call me the other day and say, "Tell me, how is Mauritius?" I said, "I can only assure you of two things. One is that it's beautiful, and two is that I'm not sure how you're going to find the food." But I thank God that when I came to Mauritius, the food was also great. So we're talking about sexual exploitation, and Mauritius being an island, I think I listened to a report that says last year, the number of visitors to Mauritius almost equaled the population of Mauritians themselves. And so we were talking about how are we going to make sure that travel and tourism does not become the downfall of Mauritius. So how do we curb that? How do we make sure that there are policies and institutions in place to make sure that as people come in and they share in the diversity of Mauritius, and they also bring in certain cultures, because there's going to be a culture rub-off. How do we curb and make sure that the sanity, the normalcy, and the morality of Mauritius is sustained, even with the infiltration of these foreign bodies? And the moderator and the panelists also did great justice to that. A very big thank you to Ms. Beatrice Gasenko, the wonderful young lady that we had, Mr. Suraj, and that's Ms. Lovishka and Mr. Ramkisun Abhishek. That's like a whole overview. I tried to talk so fast. I know I've missed 5 minutes, but I believe that you can pay me a little bit of compensation. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I need to tell everybody that a marvelous job that you have been doing since yesterday. But it was not only yesterday, it started months ago. There was a lot of preparation. David, thank you again. My next colleague who has been a very good partner to this event is Shamir. Shamir is the CEO of ABC Plateau. We approached him and told him, let's make the live stream become a reality. We had colleagues from South Africa, who are working together with us. They sent us all the details. But we still needed a team in Mauritius to monitor everything. Hale Movement contacted Samir and his team, and Samir just said, okay, this is something which I can do. Thank you, Samir. Samir, I'm just going to give you maybe less than 5 minutes. You just update all our participants how the traffic was, if ever there were any challenges, any concern, and before maybe you leave, before maybe you stop, I'll ask Tavi the few questions that you had. Might be we can pose the audience or the speakers. Samir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Rasulpan. First of all, before I give any update, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Rasulpan for this opportunity and the whole Hale Movement team. It has been 2 wonderful days for AVR Plateau, a tech company. And when Mr. Baskopol contacted me, you will be astonished that our relationship is just less than 5 days, maybe less than that. Yeah. But he gave me this opportunity. He told us, we are going for the IGF 2018, and he needs to work from that point. As any tech company, we have all our own work to do. But I told myself that I think this is a good way to go. And today I must say it is the right decision for me to be part of this IGF. I must say I commend the whole event. I came here with a lot of questions, and I'm going out of it with a lot of answers. It's a new perspective for myself to look at how technology is going to affect my business as I move along, but also the whole world. And concerning the event and how we covered it, so we have been doing it online. So this is the first time that IGF is online, so you can follow it on Facebook. Even if you missed the event, yesterday itself there have been many people that missed the event at the municipality and have been viewing. We have been around 200 views from yesterday's event on our Facebook platform. And before that, we had been doing campaigning for this specific event over the course of 2 days. But what I must say is, this is just the start of a relationship with Hale Movement. For me personally, I believe that this is the start of something great, and we can move forward from here. And I also commend that each and every one of us, it's our responsibility as the citizen, as part of this tech world, to come up and to contribute. Because contribution is not only in the way of social CSR or all that. It is being part of this event. It's being part of it and bringing what you can bring to change. As I must say, it is the little things that keep the darkness at bay. The every little aspect that you can bring in your everyday life is what is going to bring the great changes. We can sit down and write down big policies and take major actions, but sometimes it's actually the little action that we do. And coming out of this event, it is that what I realized, that we have this responsibility as each of us as individuals to bring whatever we can, a little plus, a little positive, and this is going to help. Maybe as mentioned, we have to report certain bad issues. We have to educate our youngsters about what is the issue of all that. So all these small aspects is going to help us to move forward. Once again, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Rosgopol and the Hale movement. I really enjoyed these 2 days, and the whole staff, they were very welcoming, and that's all I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Avi, you may move with your questions, maybe 1 or 2 minutes.
So 1 or 2 minutes, I just merged both questions into one. What is just saying here is the world at large and China is developing the term e-school, and this means training students to become professional gamers, to spend more time online, to game with other professionals around the world and make money. It's becoming a career. Does the house, it's from Facebook, does the house think that it's a negative development, and should it be controlled or should it be encouraged? Open to everybody. You know, gaming is something that kids love to do, and slowly the world is beginning to build platforms where people could become professional gamers that do what you love, get addicted, be online, and then you earn money while doing it. I think that's a question we'll keep for next year's IGF.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Any more questions? No.
No other questions.
Okay. So let me just conclude. This is for you. Okay. What I have personally written is one note. We had very good speakers. We had very professional moderators. The police and the CDU, they work in agreement in Mauritius. I like it. Yesterday, when people asked them the question about inquiry, I think that was Niamal who asked that question, and the gentleman who was speaking just said, you know, this is confidentiality. We can't reveal that. Today, the same thing happened again. Brigade de Mineur just pronounced that word, and his colleague from the police also said, yes, we are in accordance with that. We can't reveal confidential matters. I like this way of working. This is team building. This is working within the team. And what we did since yesterday, it was working with the team. There are many people who don't know each other, but they just sat together on a panel, and everybody, as we say in French, accordé les violons. Everybody agreed that we had a task, we had a responsibility. There was no confusion. Thank you. I would like to say that some highlights which I have just taken note. This IGF, Mauritius Internet Governance Forum 2018, was not only an event, it was not only a conference. For me and for my staff, it was an expert meeting with top-level expertise and very good experience sharing. The report definitely will try to capture all contributions of the IGF and of the youth. I know that my rapporteur and Tabi are working on that, and by next week we are going to have the report. The sub-themes and panels, you will agree with me, were professionally oriented to encompass various topics. When I was talking to my technical committee about drafting and going forward with the themes, the main theme, you already know what it was, but about the sub-theme. So my people just told me, let's put this one first. Then people, the participants will say, what comes next? So the answer was the second thing. What comes next? The upcoming sub-theme. I would like to say very hearty thanks to the teams that has worked on that. What I also noticed, we had online participation. Thank you, Samia, once again. Thank you, my team, for taking the questions on Facebook and all the online participation. And our speakers and moderators had the opportunity to answer all these questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we won't have been come to that. We might not have come to this conclusion if Hali Movement didn't have a good team. I would like, before thanking you, to ask my team just to come forward. I need to thank them. Kailash, can you ask everybody to come? We have Sandhya, we have Tab.
Yeah, unfortunately we are all not presented here. We have some getting ready for the reception, so making sure everything is ready. But on behalf of everybody, thank you. It has been a pleasure for us as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we need to... Let me go to the thanks component before and then I talk about the way forward, what Hali Movement is expecting to do in the days to come. It has been 2 wonderful days. Today, since the morning, we had the Consul of Côte d'Ivoire. Thank you, Excellency, for being with us. Mr. Apadji is a Consul of Côte d'Ivoire and he's also responsible for Francophone Africa. Thank you for being with us. I would like to thank Tabi. You have been wonderful. Thank you. I would like to thank all the speakers, moderators, and all our participants. You have been very silent. I won't say silent. You have been very disciplined participants. The questions cropped up. You asked the questions, but you knew where are the lines of demarcation. Thank you. I would like to thank the media. The media was a partner to this IGF 2018. You can still recall Roshan Hassamal. He came as a media partner and as a moderator for one of our sessions. I'm so happy that the media didn't only come for the coverage, but they also came to get involved in the proceedings. I would like to thank Voila Hotel and the Municipal Council of Port-Louis and my partners. There are several. You'll find out all the logos here. Everybody has had a helping hand into going for this event. I'd like to thank my friends and colleagues from abroad. I have in mind here Kenan, who has been very supportive for this meeting, Anna from Beijing, Beatrice from South Africa, Emila from South Africa. I'm not missing Eri. I know Eri is very fond of the oysters. We'll go for it. Have I missed anybody? No. Thank you. Thank you for making all the way to Mauritius. And I still, in the case of Anna, I still believe that she didn't even know that she was moderating. Even yesterday and today, it was a surprise. So when we were talking over here, she was just jotting notes and preparing for the moderation. Thank you, Anna. And thank you for everybody. Can we just have... Let me in short now, before I hand over again to Tabi for housekeeping, I'll just tell you what is the way forward. The way forward, we are going to compile the report. Just give us some time. I have a wonderful team who is going to compile and write the report. We are planning in less than 2 months to call everybody, participant, moderator, maybe not the international ones, but if ever you wish to come, you are welcome. We are going to finalize the report. This is the way Hali movement works. The report can't be one-sided. We are going to have the report. We are going to dedicate a one-day meeting at a venue. Everybody goes through the report, you give us your final input, then we send to authorities. I need to send the report to the global IGF in Switzerland. The Deputy Prime Minister asked for a copy of the report. The Vice Prime Minister asked for a copy of the report. The Consul would be willing to have a copy of the report, but I don't want to give a report which is only one-sided. So definitely we are going to meet and finalize that report. And let's keep fingers crossed. I had conversation with La Francophonie from France, and they are willing to do the same thing, but in French language. And probably it's going to take place in December. So let's keep fingers crossed. We have a lot to do. Thank you again. On behalf of Hali Movement and all its staff, I would like to thank you very heartily. I'm going to hand over to Tabi just for the last housekeeping issues.
Housekeeping. Hi everyone, I believe that we're very happy that we've come to the end of this and you've learned a lot. From the beginning we said it's going to be educating, it's going to be informative, and it's going to be transformative. And I'm so grateful that we have arrived at those expectations. Well, just 4 basic announcements. I'd like Nemo to accompany our international guests to the lounge for a meeting, and also I'd request everyone to wait for the networking cocktail that we're going to be having downstairs. There's going to be good entertainment, and it's going to start by 5 p.m. The doors are going to open by 5 p.m. We're coming from different nationalities, different countries, different professions, and in gatherings like this, it's very good for you to meet people, know them, network, and you never know where that will take you tomorrow. And the networking reception is going to end at 6:30, even before then. So we promise you that before 6:30, we should be out of here. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Just 1 minute. With your permission.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't announce that earlier. I wanted Tabi to announce the housekeeping. I just want to share with you and want to thank MTEL, which has sponsored the networking cocktail. Cesar, thank you.
Okay, so that's to tell you that during the networking cocktail, you're going to get free MTEL SIM. The moment I said free, Sheza just went up. It's like, no.
Got one already.